All right, this is going to be Unit 0. This is the first pretest that we've taken. These are the solutions to that pretest. This is made mostly for Eva, who has missed today. All right, so we're on problem number 1. These are all multiple choice for the first 10 problems. So which of the equations below is equivalent to this equation? So the only thing I'm asking for here is to make sure that we have the correct order of operations. So I need to distribute this -4, and it's the entire negative of the 4 into both of these terms. So this is a 5x minus 20x minus 8 is equal to 12x. And then simplifying, combining like terms, 5x and a negative 20x makes a negative 15x minus 8 is equal to 12x. So the correct answer here is negative 15x minus 8x. So the correct answer is A. And please do stop me if you guys have any questions. Yes?
I don't know, so we just write the questions that we missed, or just everything?
So in your notes, write questions that you missed. That's a good question. Yeah. Or if there was something that was unclear, maybe you want to write something down. This is all for you guys to take down your notes. And I feel like I should get these questions a little bit more condensed. So let me capture the next 4 questions on here. All right. So question number 2, find the value of x, and it gives us this equation. So solving this equation, I'm going to subtract 30 from each side. Subtract 30, subtract 30. So my new equation is 40x is equal to 120. Divide by 40 on each side, and I get x is equal to 3. So correct answer is C. So far, so good. Nods the heads. Yep. Okay. Number 3, which of the following equations is equivalent to this guy? Again, distributing, make sure you distribute that -5. So on the left-hand side, we have 9x. The -5 times 2 is a -10. The -5 times the negative x is a positive, and this is where most people made a mistake. -5 times this negative x is a positive 5x. This is equal to, distributing the 2 again, this is going to be an easy one. I'm just distributing a positive number. 2 times 6x is 12x minus 4. And simplifying the right-hand side, a 9x plus a 5x is a 14x, and I still have the minus 10, is equal to 12x minus 4. And 14x minus 10 is C. Nods head on number 3. I still see some pencils writing, so I'm going to slow down, make sure we get that. Also, I should use red or something. Black is too confusing. I'm going to go on because I think most of us got number 4. When I have 2 fractions or 2 ratios that are set equal to one another, that in our mind should always say cross multiply. So cross multiply means 2 times 4x minus 3. And I'm going to write this out because sometimes it's not clear. 2 times the quantity of 4x minus 3. And this is equal to the other cross multiplication, 5 times 10. And I already know that that's 50, but I'll just write out 5 times 10. Now I'm distributing this 2 in here. So I have an 8x minus 6 is equal to 50. And I'm solving for x. That's the instructions over here. Solve for x. So I'm going to add the 6 over to get 8x is equal to 56. And I know that we did take Algebra 1 a while back, and we want to show all of our work. But if you just go step by step like this, I know that you added the 6 to both sides. You don't have to waste a whole line to say, look, Mr. Snell, I'm adding 6. You can just say, here is what happens when you add 6 to both sides. I will be able to see that. From here, I'm going to divide 8. And again, I'm not going to show that. I'm just going to say, okay, I'm dividing by 8. 56 divided by 8. What is that, guys? 7. And our final answer is 7.
So for that one, I got the answer right, but I wrote down the wrong one. Like, I wrote C instead of B, but I had the right answer, so what would I write for that? Just like...
You don't have to write anything in your notes. This is for you. So if you got the right answer, just make a note. Make sure I spend time to make sure I write the answer correct. All right, let's go on to number 5. Ooh, I didn't capture the multiple choice, but the correct answer was B in this case. All right, so for number 5, we have this guy. We're solving for x, so here we go. Again, 2 fractions that are set equal to one another, so cross multiply. So in this direction, we have 2 times the quantity of 3x plus 6. And in this direction, I have 3 times the quantity of x minus 2. Okay, distributing the 2, I get 6x plus 12. Distributing the 3, I get 3x minus 6. Make sure I have that equal sign. From here, I need to gather all the variables on one side, all the constants on the other. So when I do that, I'm going to take all the constants, put it on the left. So I'm subtracting 3x from both sides. I get 3x. And I'm going to do this at the same time too. I'm going to move the 12 over here. So I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. This is going to equal negative 18. So from here, divide both sides by 3, and I get x is equal to negative 6 for the correct answer of D. If you guys raise your hand, that's like throwing on the brakes just slightly. I can slow down. If there's no hands, I'm going to keep going at this speed. No hands. I'm continuing at the speed. All right, moving on to number 6, 7, and 8. Let's capture all of these, 6, 7, and 8. I'm just going to go to a new... Ooh, I clicked that button. I don't know what it does. Oops. It's killing my computer. There we go. Let's go back here. All right. So, number 6. A statement is shown below. All shapes have exactly 2 diagonals, which is a counterexample. So I'm looking for something that disproves this. And I think there are 2 or 3 people that missed number 6. So I am making sure that I hit this correctly. All shapes have exactly 2 diagonals. Well, which shape in here doesn't have 2 diagonals? That's what you're really looking for. That has 2 diagonals. B, C, all those have 2 diagonals. So the correct answer here is D. That is the only one that does not have 2 diagonals. All right, number 7. And if you guys want to ask a question, please do. I know that we're recording, but you can still ask. All right. Number 7, which of the following is the correct name for the angle below? And I think everyone got this correct. It's ABD for the correct answer of B. Angle B is not enough because angle B could refer to this angle right here if you're wondering. All right. And then finally, number 8, a pair of angles with a sum of 90 degrees. I think every single person missed this because I forgot to go over it in my notes. So, and I'll write this down very clearly. If it's just one angle, not a pair of angles, one angle, everyone should be writing because everyone missed this. One angle of 90 degrees, that is equal to a right angle. Two angles, and I don't want to write 2 angles because it could be x angles. So I'm going to say greater than or equal to 2 angles. Because you could have 4 angles that adds up to 90 degrees. But anything greater than or equal to 2 angles that add to 90, this is called complementary. And because the pretest is so close to the actual test, you can probably guess what the test question is going to be on. It's going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow's the test. And here's the other piece of information. If greater or equal to 2 angles add to 180 degrees, that is supplementary. And obtuse, does anyone remember the definition of obtuse for us? I'm not going to write it in the notes because we already know it, hopefully. Someone? Obtuse? Greater than what number of degrees?
90.
Greater than 90, thank you. So the correct answer for 8 is complementary because it adds up to 90 degrees. Technically, if it's a pair, it has a special name, but we're going to go over that in geometry. Or maybe you already know it. I think it's a linear pair, but I am not quite sure. I need to review my notes. But complementary is the right answer. Questions? I still see pencils moving, which means we're copying down the notes. And okay, I'm going on to the next one. We are on number 9. So scroll down here and grab number 9 and 10. All right, so A, B, C, D is congruent to, and remember you have to keep the same order. So if I start in the bottom left, I start in the bottom left. So I go from A to B and then keep going around counterclockwise. So E to F and go counterclockwise. It's E, F, G, H for the correct answer of C. Everyone's so good, or good so far. Okay, this one was missed by 2 to 3 people. I forget exactly how many people missed this one. A lot of people put A and B. The correct answer here is D, 45 degrees. So let's look at this. AQX. A is here, QX. So I'm looking for this angle right here. This angle right here should be smaller than 90, because 90 degrees is this entire angle right here. So smaller than 90, which means I'm looking at the inside angles from 0, and I go all the way up here to 45. So just keep in mind, if you miss this question, take a look at if it's greater than or bigger, if it's greater than or less than 90, and that'll help you choose your answer. A lot of people said 135, which is correct if it was ZQX, but it's not. No writing. I'm going on to the next problem. Number 11. All right, so this one was missed by number 11 through 16. I think 14 through 16 everyone got, but I'll just write them up here anyway. So number 11. The correct answer here, you can write two things, and you don't have to write them both. AB, or you could have wrote BA. I'm fine with both of them. And notice that on the top, I just do a straight line. A lot of people did dots like this. Well, not a lot. There are a few people that did dots like this. No, it's just a straight line. I wanted to take off points, but I should clarify in this video, you just make a line, no dots. There's only one answer for 12. So if you put DC with a line, then you're doing it wrong, because it's CD. You start from the point and then you go off in the infinite direction. So this is the only answer, CD. And some people can write it like this too, if you want to be fancy, just with the top arrow. All right, EF, this is pretty straightforward. It's a double-sided arrow, EF, or you could have put FE. Doesn't matter for the direction, and you could have just done an arrow like this too, going each way, FE or EF. All right, I'm going to go through 14 through 16 really quick. So these were angle ABC, or you could have done angle BCA. This is angle number 1, and this is angle E. All right, moving on to number 17. And can I get the screenshot of 17 through 20? I think I might be able to fit it all in here. 17 through 20. Nice. Okay. So 17. You don't have to write the triangle, but I do prefer you to write triangle because it's such an easy symbol to make. And this is going to be ABC. You could have also done ACB. It doesn't matter. Just make sure they're all in the right order. I don't think anyone lost points in here. The correct thing to write here is just D, E, F, G. And if you want to be super, super accurate, you can put polygon. Polygon, D, E, F, G. But if you just wrote D, E, F, G or D, G, F, E going the other direction, you are fine. And this one, you can just write H, I, J, K, L, or going the other direction. And if you want to be super accurate, you can say polygon. But you don't have to write polygon. I'll still give you full points because that is the official name of that shape. And for number 20, so this one was missed by about half of us. So if you missed it, you're not alone. So everyone got these two correct. BW, line segment BW is congruent to line segment TI. So BW is right here and TI is right here. So you do a tick mark through the line. And WO is right here. And IO is, I think that's an I down there, is there. So everyone got those points, but then the angles started messing people up. So WBT is right here, and that's congruent to ITB, which is right here. So those two need a tick mark. And then a lot of people decided to put angles in the middle here, which isn't quite correct. So let's look at this, BWO. So BWO, it's this angle right here. And TIO, TIO, so it's this angle right here. So just be careful on what angle you're actually talking about. I think that was just the most common error here. I don't see very many pencils writing, but I am going to wait for the people that are writing notes. I see 2 pencils, 1 pencil moving. All right, moving on to the next problem. We're on problem number 21. All right, so doing these guys. So the most common error in 21 through 24 was not simplifying enough. Like you would write out the answer and then you wouldn't simplify it as far as it could go. Number 21, the most common error was just order of operations. PEMDAS, if you guys remember, PEMDAS. If I have that written on your page, that means you did not do order of operations correct. First is parentheses. There's no parentheses. Then exponents, no exponents. Then multiplication and division in the same step. Where's multiplication? It's right here. So this is the first step. 4 times 3x. 4 times 3x. Can you guys shout it out? Or whisper it if you want to whisper it. It is 12x. You guys said it, but you said it very softly. The microphone definitely did not pick that up. 5 plus 12x. And then you can be done. If you want to be super accurate, remember it's 12x plus 5. I like writing it in descending powers of x. So if I had an x squared, it would go in front, and then x cubed goes all the way to the left. 12x plus 5 is the final answer that I'm looking for. So please do write it in descending order. There are a few people that left it 5 plus 12x. I'm not going to take off points. You're mathematically correct. It's just your notation is bad. Number 22, the most common error here was not fully reducing. Let's go ahead and do this problem. 3 times 8x. Can you guys get some participation in here? Just shout out 3 times 8x. 24x, thank you. 3 times negative 4x. Negative 12x. Thank you. And again, order of operations, no one messed this up that I saw on the test. 6 times 4 minus 10 times 2. So 6 times 4, shout that out. 24. 10 times 2. 20. All right, so from here, you should get 24x minus 12x is 12x. And then this is going to be over 4. 2 people couldn't get to this step. And then most people got to this step but didn't reduce. 12 divided by 4 is? 12 divided by 4, guys? 3. So your final answer should have equal signs in between here. Final answer is 3x. Because it says simplify. That means you go all the way down until you can't go anymore. Technically it's 3x over 1, but 3x is the final answer. So make sure you reduce 12x over 4, because that's the same thing as writing 4 times 3x all divided by 4, and the 4s cancel out. That's another way of thinking about that fraction. All right, number 23. I think everyone got number 23. If you didn't get it, I'm sorry, I forgot about you. But here's the answer. You subtract 3 from both sides, so 4x is equal to 12, and then divide by 4, x is equal to 3. Final answer. And I do like boxing the answers, so if you haven't been boxing your answers, make a note to yourself, box those answers. Number 24 was probably the most missed problem out of all 4 of these, just because we deal with fractions here. So there's a few ways to go about this. I'm going to do it my way. You can do it your way, and I can show you both ways or all the ways, as many as I can. So the first thing that I want to do here to isolate for my variable x is to subtract 4 from both sides. So subtracting 4 from both sides gives me 4 is equal to x over 6. Next, I see that x is being divided by 6, so the opposite of dividing by 6 is exactly multiplying by 6. So I multiply both sides by 6, and I get 6 times 4 is 24. And when I multiply by 6, I get 6x over 6, which is just x. So my final answer is x equals 24, boxing my answer again. If you just write one answer without any work, then that's fine. You don't have to box it. But if you need to show work, in which case this is a problem that you need to show work, you do need to box your final answer after showing work. All right, so far so good. I see a few pencils going. I'll pause to make sure we get all those notes down. All right, we're going on to number 25. This is, I want to click that button. So here's number 25. So solve the proportion. Whenever you see 2 things set equal to each other that are fractions, cross multiply. 4 times 12 is, shout it out. 12 times 4, 4 times 12, 48. And what is 3 times 16? Or negative 3 times negative 16 for that matter, going this direction. If you have it in your test, just shout it out.
48.
Yeah, 48, a positive 48. And don't forget that x. Negative 3x times negative 16 is a positive 48x. A lot of people we'll forget the x here. I think that was the most common error that I saw in number 25. You need to have the x if you're solving for x when you cross multiply, because now I can isolate for x by dividing both sides by 48. When I divide both sides by 48, I get x is equal to 1. I was expecting a lot of people to mess up the negatives here. I didn't really see that too often. I mean, a few people mess up the negatives, but it was because they kind of messed up their cross multiplication. So cross multiplication is the first step whenever you see two fractions that are equal. If you don't remember that, write it down. Whenever I see two fractions set equal to one another, cross multiply. All right, I'm waiting for a few pencils, 1 pencil, 2 pencils. 1 more pencil remaining. And I'm going to go on to number 26. Wait, is there 26? That's it, right? That's it. All right. So let's get rid of that page. That concludes this video.